G'day guys, and welcome to another Blender Buzz tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how we add edgeware in Blender. Now you can see here I have this example image here of an object that I made that has no edgeware whatsoever. It's just a perfectly smooth coating of paint. But if I go ahead and I show you what we're going to make, if I go to slot 2, you can see here an example of what it's going to look like when we add edgeware. Okay. Now edgeware is something that occurs just about everywhere today. I mean, you can go to just about any surface, especially in an area where there's a lot of friction, and things are going to have wear on the edges, especially the edges, because those are usually the things that are standing out and get grabbed first. Okay, so you can see here, if I look at this fire hydrant, everywhere where it's kind of sharp, it kind of has edgeware. Okay, see the paint has been faded or kind of brushed off a little bit by friction. So I'm going to show you how we set this up in Blender quite easily using Blender's nodes setup. I made this little scene in Blender, and that is just to demonstrate how to do this. Okay, so what I have here is a fire hydrant and a scene. This is just a little scene, and I made this red paint material. Okay, I'm not going to show you how to do that. Okay, so this is assuming you have an object right now and open up in Blender and you have a default material. Okay, I just created this default material here that's just a red kind of paint with a little bit of a bump to it. Okay, so like something you would see on a fire hydrant. Okay, the fire hydrant red kind of paint, which is all that is on this object. There's nothing else. It's only this perfectly shiny red paint material. Okay, and obviously that is kind of unrealistic for a fire hydrant. Like I said, in the real world, things have edgeware. Okay, especially something like a fire hydrant that's out on the street. There's going to be a lot of cars passing by. You know. And a lot of friction. It's a high friction environment, so you could assume that this is going to have a lot of edgeware. So what I'm going to do, okay, to not have this awful perfectly red surface, we're going to use what's called a geometry node. So I'm going to go Shift A, go search, and we're going to grab a geometry node. Okay, and now the geometry node has these options here. Okay, but the one we're interested in is the bottom one called pointiness. Okay, and this node is going to tell Blender to look at your object and find certain areas that have a certain angle to them, and it's going to tell it to add edgeware to that surface. Okay, it's going to add like kind of like a black and white value, which our factor is going to be using to mix. So before we can plug this in here, we need to actually go and get a mix shader, plug it in between our material here and our material output. Okay. And I'm also going to go and make the material, okay, because there has to be material that goes into this bottom socket, which is going to be the exposed part of our edgeware. So I'm going to go and quickly make a material. I'm going to go glossy. I'm going to grab a diffuse, okay, and I'm also going to get a mix shader. And this is just going to be my metal material. So I'm going to plug both of these nodes into my mix shader, and I'm going to drag the factor amount up to about 0.7, and I'm going to increase my roughness on my glossy a slight amount like so. So if I quickly plug this one here into the surface output, I can see I have this metal material here, which is what I want. I might just decrease the roughness a little bit here. Okay, that is my underlying metal material. So I'm going to just plug this mix shader back in here. And what we want to do now is plug this guy into the bottom here, okay? Now what you can see here is it's mixing these two, this material here and this material here, okay? It's mixing it 50-50, 100%. I mean like 50-50, they both make up 100%. And that looks kind of bad. So what we want to do is we want to now bring in our pointiness information here, and it's going to use that to be able to tell it how to mix these materials. But we have to put some nodes in between here, because if I just plug this pointiness directly into the surface, you're going to see it doesn't pick up any information. So what we need to do, okay, is we need to, what we need to do is we need to put a color ramp node in here, okay, and I'm also going to just grab a viewer. Okay, this doesn't have a viewer. I'm just going to make a diffuse node for now and just pop it in here. Okay, and what we can see here is that right now it just looks white. So to fix that, we're going to bring these two values in here. Okay, just bring them closer together. And you can see as we do that, okay, we're gonna start to see the edgeware kind of come in a little bit. Okay, now this is actually a very sensitive thing, so you got to kind of play around until you see that it is mostly black, and around all the sharp pointy edges you're going to see it's adding these white areas. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in a little bit more like so. Okay, and there we can see we now have our mask. Okay, so if I take this color ramp and I plug it into the factor here, and then I take this and plug it back into the surface, voila. Okay, if you look here now, you can see that we have edgeware. Okay, so if I quickly just view the paint by itself, okay, you can see down here it's just 100% red paint all across the surface. And if I go and plug this guy in here, you can see we have the edgeware. Okay, now one thing that I don't like here is that this isn't quite sharp enough. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get another color ramp. Okay, and if I quickly just view that, okay, I can see if I drag this in, I can sharpen that up a little bit, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to bring these in, maybe back a little bit, like that. Okay, so you can see now we have our edgeware. Okay, and that was really easy to do. So this is one of the elements you would have in a scene to add realism, edgeware. And if you want to, you can also go and add some dirt, you can add some dust. But today I'm just going to show you how to add the edgeware. So I'm going to quickly give this a render so you can really see what it looks like and appreciate the detail. And here we have it, our final render. And you can see here we have the edgeware coming through. Now if we were to just have 100% red paint here, okay, this would not look like it's really been used. So this kind of gives it a weathered, aged kind of look, which is exactly what the goal of this tutorial was. I hope you guys found this useful. If you liked my video, please subscribe and check out some of my other content. I make things quite regularly.